Hi, everybody. So glad to see so many of my friends here on this live. What I'm doing today is I met Lisa online recently. She is an entrepreneur, and like everybody in the world, she's being affected by what is being called social distancing, even though I call it more like a physical distancing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be asking her different questions today about things she's learned from being home with herself all day and having so much time to think, and also about how she's managed this change that we're going through together as a world, as a really, yeah, the whole world. I was about to say country, but it's the world. So hi, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me on this.
Hi.
I'm going to tell the people listening a little bit about you, who you are, what you do. So Lisa here is on a mission to help people find their gift and develop a plan B by educating them about residual income, and also to give resources and information that will guide people on how to make residual income. And she does this on 15-minute phone calls with people, just so you all know. Now, like I said, thank you so much for being here. I met you just a week ago, so this is very exciting. This is new for me and for all of us, this whole social distancing thing. And I'm grateful that you've offered to join me.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for the invitation. It's one of the best ways to start my Monday or be part of the start of a week.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. So what we did is I have this awesome book. It's called Daring Greatly, written by Brene Brown. And I found a list of different things that we can cultivate by letting go of something else. And Lisa has told me that she connected with a few of these ideas. So I'm going to start with the first idea. And these are all things she's learned about specifically in this time of social distancing. The first one is cultivating a resilient spirit. And to do that, we need to let go of numbing and powerlessness. Can you give me an example of how powerlessness relates to this time period, and how acknowledging our powerlessness, we're able to cultivate a resilient spirit?
Sure, absolutely. I feel like this is a great example of how people feel as if they're losing control. They're being told where they cannot go. A lot of them have their income at jeopardy. The information that we're getting is only what we're absolutely being fed through the government or through the media. So I think that offers a sense of, is this the full story? What's to come next? There's just a lot of that unknownness that's going on with our current situation, with the times that we're living in. And so we have the ability to look at that as something that we are powerless over, or we can find the things that we have control over in our everyday lives, right? So we still can keep routine to our life. We can still get up at the same time every day. We can still choose what kind of foods we're putting into our body. I choose every day to wear color because I refuse to put anything black or gray on right now. I just want to be able to bolster my mental and my physical immunity. I really think we have both, and we have to be talking about both during this time. And so, that's just some of the small steps that I take to make sure that I'm living a happy life every day. I'm also now actually connecting more than ever to people, because now I have the time. I've eliminated the time of traveling and of commuting and doing things like that. So I'm choosing on how to fill those gaps in my time with something more positive as well. So we actually do have a lot of power right now to control our everyday, and especially to control our thoughts, right? Our thoughts become our words become our actions. And so every single day, how are we talking to ourselves and to the people that are around us? That's why I know we talked about it. I understand from a very explanation point of view, we're calling this social distancing and isolation, but those words have a lot of power to them too, right? And so I'm choosing not to use them as much as I possibly can avoid them, because I've actually been making amazing connections. I've been utilizing the power of technology to connect with my friends and my family, but also to meet exceptional new people like you, and engaging in conversations online that maybe I wouldn't have made the time to do or even noticed in the past, because I was maybe a little bit more linear thinking. So you get to meet new friends from around the world if you just allow yourself to.
Definitely. And what I love about what you said about the power of our words, one of the things that I try to do in my personal life is to word things accurately. So something that I've actually done is I try not to use the word perfect when it
Yeah.
really isn't applicable. We use the word perfect very often. If someone says, "Oh, I finished washing the dishes." Perfect. Is it perfect, or are you grateful to them for that? Or you appreciate them for that? So I try to use accurate words, and it's the reason behind it is because there's a lot of power to our words. And
Mhm.
so yeah, what you're saying is very true. So that's definitely something that we do have power to choose. We have the power to choose our words and how we express ourselves. What would you say are examples of things that we're powerless over, specifically in this time of the what they call social isolation? That's not really social
Mhm.
isolation.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm making sure that I'm sticking to a daily routine and to very purpose-driven actions every single day. So this isn't a time that, I mean, I suppose it is a time that you could just sit around and say, well, I was told to work from home, or no one's watching what I'm doing, or maybe you have a job that you can't actually do from home. So now you're in this uncertain time of, do I even have a job to go back to? What's my future income going to look like? And all these things that can be overwhelming if we really think about it. But if we can just stick to a daily routine, if we can make sure that we're getting up and we're, like I said, we're feeding our bodies and our souls in the best way, it's a great time to exercise. I've been cooking for myself and doing those kinds of things that I really love to do, and I don't always. Especially here in America, we're such a, a group of individuals, a community that we buy a lot of food in boxes and out of windows and things like that versus really taking control over what exactly is going into that cooking process and then going into our body. So I've actually been, I feel super grounded by doing it. I feel like I'm just a little bit more rooted, and that builds up my resilient spirit too because I'm taking control back and I'm building my confidence in these areas that maybe I had lost touch with just a little bit. And that's a really amazing feeling right now, especially when there's so much uncertainty, so much changing news and information on a daily basis that we have to figure out a way to counterbalance that for ourselves.
Definitely. 100%. And those are all really awesome ways of counteracting or not counteracting, but accepting the powerlessness and then seeing what can you do. We can't stop the virus. There's a lot of things that we can't do, but what we can do is a whole bunch of list of things you just said. And let me ask you this now, because what we're talking about is cultivating a resilient spirit, specifically by letting go of numbness, which we haven't actually spoken much about yet, by numbing, and also letting go of powerlessness. When you acknowledge what you're powerless over in the situation and what also you have the power to choose to do in this time and to leverage, how has that, or would you explain to me how it's given you a more resilient spirit?
Sure. I think that when we become numb, numb means not acknowledging, at least to me. I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist. I do not work in the medical profession. This is just me and my experiences. But numb to me is shutting off emotion sometimes too, or not facing it in that moment. I think it's okay to acknowledge that this is uncertain times, that it's okay to be scared. It's okay to not know what tomorrow holds. I think so. Talking to people and just being at peace with it yourself and saying, this is where I am right now in my life is perfectly acceptable to do because I've been there. I'm like, I don't know what tomorrow holds for us. I have some family members that aren't in the best health, and so I do have that worry that I'm like, the last place I want them to have to go is back to a hospital or something like that. So there are definitely these emotions that I could choose to shut down and not acknowledge, but I'm just acknowledging them so that I can get past them as well, or so that I can deal with them and find things that will alleviate it a little bit by bringing a little bit of joy in, or by just distracting me even in a good way, so right. So I'm choosing not to have that distraction be laying in bed all day long without any mindset of when to get up or what to do. And sometimes it's just a simple act of I'm going to go throw a lot of laundry in. I'm going to do something that makes me feel productive, that makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something in that moment, or I'm going to call up a friend. Or if you do have a job that allows you to work from home, you still have the ability to do it to the best of your capability. Right? This isn't a time to have an excuse of why you can let things slack. So we can choose to see those as maybe some pitfalls, or we can choose to really see them as incredible opportunities on how to show our resiliency, of how to show the best versions of ourselves, and kind of come prepared and come with the positive attitude every single day in what we're doing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think it's such a great way to really leverage this time. And especially now when we really need to be more spirited. In general, it's always good to be spirited, but this is such a scary time. And in a scary time like this, to put an extra focus on being resilient, to cultivating this more spirited, gosh, it's so important. You could have a panic attack if you let the anxiety get to you too much. So, and I hope that nobody gets there. That's also one of the reasons why we're here today, is to help you all the listeners here, find tools to help them stay calm in this time of heightened anxiety. So let's move on now to the next point. This is going to be cultivating gratitude and joy. And the way that you do that is by letting go of, I lost my place from reading, letting go of scarcity and fear of the dark. Lisa, can you tell me about a time that has come, that you've noticed, that has come into not into realization, but has come up for you now in this time, where you've noticed that you were kind of scared of not having something, or scarcity, and it held you back?
I think I live in Michigan, and for a little while of time, I think this isn't just Michigan-based though, but there was a scarcity of items that you could buy in the store. When you did go to the store, there was a huge toilet paper shortage that was going on. So I think even those little examples, they just show a reflection of something bigger that's happening. And so people just, again, you didn't know what tomorrow was going to bring, or what the availability was going to be. So I think people went into that preparation mode of what they were doing. But I think if you just take a step back, and I know you and I were talking a little bit about it, but the people that when I went to the store and buy food, right? So there were some items that were left, but they were way up on the top and the back of the shelf, and I couldn't reach everything. And there were people that were willing to help. There were people that still had an attitude of positivity, and I then was trying to reciprocate that with an attitude of gratitude, right? You can still do those kinds of things. I shared with you earlier that I took the time last week and I wrote out a bunch of handwritten cards to some people for no reason, just because they were on my mind. I thought, I'm going to really express to them, instead of just I love you, or see you later, or whatever, or see you later, whatever, I'm going to really tell them what I think is special about them.
And the thing is I don't think there's any selfless acts. I mean, it was doing as much for me
as I hope it will do for them when they get it in the mail.
But when people are just looking at, the mail for bills, for advertisements, things that people want from you, if you can bring some kind of joy into somebody else's life too, I really promise you, I really believe that'll bring joy into our own lives as well. So if we can start doing these little actions, leaving virtual post-it notes on someone's Facebook page, go ahead and tag them in something, or go ahead and throw an inspirational quote up for them, or a funny meme, or something that will bring a smile and some happiness. I promise you'll get as much out of that as that individual will too, right? So this is the time we have, because that's what we have. We have a little bit of extra time, I feel like. And so why not do more of those instead of sitting there and being consumed by the news? When you really listen to it, at least in like a short span of time, over a couple hours, all they're doing is really saying the same thing over and over. Not too much has changed in a short span of time. So let's find something else that we can occupy our minds with during that time.
Definitely. And I think it's so powerful, because we're cultivating connection, which is something that's so deeply invaluable. When we were chatting before, you showed me the little letters you bought. Can you show them?
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
So I have to go and get stamps though. That's why they haven't actually been sent out yet. And because of social distancing, I haven't done that quite yet. But it was still very emotional release to be able to write in them and tell people what I really thought and what I really appreciated. And I did it kind of around the things that we had to say, which I know is past now, but why I felt lucky and why I felt fortunate to have that person in my life and the kinds of things that they brought into mine. And I just thought there was no better time but to share that with the people that I care about the most.
It's so amazing. What I love about it is a lot of people have forgotten about writing letters, and especially in this time where everyone's staying in their homes more time out of the day, we're using our computers. We're not writing letters to people and sending them in the mail. And there's something just so nice about getting a letter in the mail from somebody. For some people, everyone has different love languages. But for some people, it makes them feel very cared for. And it's something that, I think we should bring back. Definitely bring back writing letters to increase the gratitude we feel, which also will increase our levels of happiness. Gratitude is the quickest way to be happy quickly. And there's many forms of showing and expressing gratitude. So that's amazing. And let's see. So how would you describe the connection between letting go of scarcity that will allow you to feel gratitude?
So I'm kind of a big visualizer in that I can only hold so much in my hands at one time, right? Or in your arms or whatever. And sometimes when we hold on to too many things from the past or out of fear or out of the fear of scarcity, we actually don't have the opportunity to pick up new things in the meantime. If we are able to release it, if that's a good visual that helps anybody else, like it helps me, that's how I met you, right? I mean, I had more time to explore conversations online, but I didn't just stop there. You and I very quickly, right, the very next day, I think, made it a point to have a video chat and to get to know each other and to build on that initial connection. And so I think that's how people have to look at it is don't be afraid of what you're letting go of. Be welcoming and excited for the opportunity of what that means you could possibly be attracting and what new, I call them golden nuggets, you could be picking up in the meantime, whether it's a new relationship, whether it's a new skill, whether you want to learn something. This is the best time to go out and learn something. Watch YouTube videos. I've been watching a lot of tutorials. I have a challenge for myself every day this week. I'm just going to go on and find one new thing that I've wanted to learn how to do. The thing I was telling you earlier, that it was one of those headband braids. You just kind of, take your own hair and you braid it. I'm not really coordinated in that way, so I wanted to try it. It didn't turn out the best, but I tried it, and it felt a sense of accomplishment. I felt a sense of excitement that I finally did what had been in my mind for so long to do, but I didn't always have time or didn't ever make time to actually do it, right? Yeah. And let's say it's something that a recipe you want to try. You're like, this looks delicious. I want to try it. And you do it, and it's not so good. Guess what? Now you put it out of your mind. You're done. You've moved past it. Now you have time to attract something else in place of what had been taking up that space all that time. So it's not even just the physical, but it's the mental and emotional and things that we hold on to. And sometimes when we hold on to them too long, they start to kind of create their own world. And it's not always reality anymore either, right? So if we can just kind of put those kinds of new ideas in place and give them a value and then move on past them, or especially if it's something from the past and it doesn't have a purpose anymore. I know I've told you I've also been cleaning a lot. I've really been going through a cabinet or a shelf at a time. Not a lot, but just a stack of papers or a stack of magazines even. I've read it, I've taken the information, I'm excited about it, but now the physical act of carrying it out to the recycling bin and knowing that tomorrow it's going to be picked up and it's going to be gone, it's an incredible sense. I don't know if anyone else is as dorky as I am when it comes to cleaning like that, but it's like very it's very refreshing. And I feel like, you know, spring is right around the corner in terms of temperature for us. Anyway, I know spring is just on Friday, but in the United States, but yeah, let's actually spring cleaning earlier. And let's use this time, because then when we finally can get out of the house again, when we can finally go and have dinners with our friends and go do the sports that we love to do and celebrate all the birthdays that we've missed these last couple of weeks, we won't feel tied down to the tasks that we should have done these past couple of weeks when we were home and had the opportunity to actually do that.
Yeah.
So use it as a positive, like use it as a motivating force to keep pushing you forward, and then think about all the fun stuff you can do later on once you pass all of it.
Definitely. And and having gratitude through that process, knowing that there's you're not scarce in what there is to do with your time, and to be grateful for what you have, so that way you're able to use your time wisely with what you have. In short, that's how I'm understanding you. Yeah, amazing. Great. I love it. Okay, so let's go to the next one now. The next one is cultivating creativity. Now, Lisa, I know that you're super creative. I can also tell from the way you speak that you're just a natural creative person. So how do we cultivate creativity? Cultivating creativity by letting go of comparison. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the times you've compared yourself to other people and how it's affected you?
I think the one example I can give that almost everybody can relate to is when you start a new job, right? You walk in and you have such self-doubt that you're like, okay, do I make the right choice? Is this really where I'm supposed to be? But you have to think about it, and all those folks that have been there before you or been there longer, they started exactly where you started too, right? So I have a lot of mentors, a lot of people that I respect and that I look up to, speakers that I love, and I have these moments where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do what that person's doing, or I don't know if I will ever get to that level, but then I have to stop myself and think about it and say, I wonder where they were the very first day they started, the very first time they got up on stage to speak, or the very first time they did a Zoom call, or an Instagram live, right? This is all brand new to us.
Yeah.
But I think that if you just take the chance and you don't compare yourself to anyone, because you have to remember you have an authentic gift, you have a superpower that's all yours, which is being exactly who you are. And so comparing ourselves to other people doesn't actually get us anywhere. It doesn't move us forward. In fact, it just kind of pushes us back or holds us steady where we are. And so I encourage people to take a chance to try something new. You and I are examples of that. We're doing this is my first time on Instagram live, and but it's fun, and then it's only going to get easier. That's the other takeaway from it, right? It only gets easier the more that you do it.
Definitely. And yeah, I love everything you're saying. It's truly being able to leverage this time and also using it to connect with other people. And yeah, and your creativity as well. The creativity is really one of the keys, I think, here in being able to utilize this time for the best. And another thing that's interesting about creativity is when we're able to be creative, we have to be in alignment with ourselves. And I think one of the greatest gifts that we can have is that feeling of alignment with ourselves. So, yeah, let's talk about.
I love to bake. I do cake or make cupcakes. I'm definitely not a cake decorator, but I love to bake cupcakes. But I took frosting that instead of what I would normally put on a cake, right? And then once you do it, you can't redo it. But I just took frosting, and I've been teaching myself with YouTube videos how to do different piping styles. And then I do it, and I've just been doing it on wax paper, and then I scrape it off, and I put it back in the piping bag, and I do it all over again. So this is also a time when creativity you can try things and do them and mess it up, and who cares, and who's going to see it? Or if it's good, you want to share it with people. Even if it's not good, share it with people. Show other people that it's okay to be a beginner at something, to make mistakes at something, even if you are a little more advanced. You never know when that actually inspires someone versus scares somebody, right? You might just be the inspiration that somebody else needs in a day that they were looking for. So why not just go for it and just have fun with it?
Totally. And yeah, that's why what we're able to gain from creativity, there's such a great oh, what's the right word for this? When capacity, but it's on a person potential. There's such a great potential for what we can reach with creativity that it's so important to let go of comparing ourselves to other people and to truly begin to see ourselves for our worth and our value, and not letting other people's accomplishments stop us from thinking that we can accomplish also. I know earlier that you were talking about this, actually. You were saying what you do practically to not let other people's accomplishments get in your way. You were talking about your perspective that you have on this. Would you be able to talk about that a little bit now? Do you remember what you were saying? I can. I don't mind to remind you. You were saying that you said a few things, but one of the things you said that I loved was, and a person who's super successful, 20 years ago, if you would have been in the same room as them, you may have been equals. And you were talking a lot about the different perspectives you have that help you to not see yourself as less.
It's their experiences. Yeah, it's their experiences that got them there, right? And they don't have the experiences that I have, though. So, you know, right now in my business, I'm doing a lot more speaking than I used to, and like you mentioned at the beginning, these one-on-one conversations, and I do sometimes, I think to myself, I'm like, am I doing it right? Am I giving the person the best information? Am I, how would someone else have handled this conversation or this objection that this individual had? And I just have to stop and think about it and say, I don't know. And I bet you they don't know 20 years ago or even today. They're just going with the flow. They're going, and I know you and I agree, we don't like the word perfect, but all I can do is be my best version of myself in that exact moment, at that place and time. Now, it might change a day from now, it might change a month from now or a year from now, right? Where I'm more capable of something, or I have a better approach to that challenge, or whatever it is. So I think it's about self-love too. It's giving ourselves kind of a little bit of a break, patting ourselves on the back and saying we're doing the absolute best that we can do today. Draw on your strengths, draw on your resources and your experiences, because they are authentically who you are. Nobody has that exact same message that they can share with others. So why not share that with people and find out who that attracts? Because it will attract the right people. It really will.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah, I love everything that you're saying. And with that said, we're going to take a break now. We're going to come back in a few minutes. And thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm so glad you're here. And once again, we're explaining how to cultivate different strengths in this time that we are in. It's called social isolation, social distancing, though it's really a time of social connection, and physical distancing. So we're going to be right back. Stay right where you are. Well, welcome back, Lisa. And thank you guys all for waiting. We are now going to pick up where we left off. Lisa and I are here to talk about different things Lisa came up with from her time in social distancing, being at home, away from being able to get out of her house regularly. And we are going through a list of 6 different concepts that she has been able to think about in this time. These are all different ways of cultivating greatness, different skills that will give us that greatness to be able to thrive in life, and essentially move from surviving to living. So we are right now up to cultivating calm and stillness. And to do that, we need to let go of anxiety as a lifestyle. What do you think about the concept, Lisa, of anxiety as a lifestyle, and what that means for us in the world today, and specifically how that lifestyle is affecting people in this time of the virus spreading?
So I think anxiety overall, and again, I don't have a medical background, but anxiety affects our immune system just as much as what we eat, or not exercising, or not getting enough sleep, and things like that. So I think it's super important to do all that we possibly can. There are a lot of tools at a lot of different levels of how to reduce anxiety in your life. So I think it's really important when Brene talks about like living in a state of calmness, stillness as a possible antidote for, and just the flip of what anxiety really means, right?
Yeah.
So now is the time again, and we kind of talked a little bit about it, but using creativity, using happiness and joy, but just being calm with yourself. I mean, now I take more bubble baths in the last week than I have,
because usually I'm like,
I'm
it's late at night,
or
I just
it's
want to
late
get
at
in the
night,
shower,
maybe stand there
for an extra few minutes, but now I gotta get to bed. Getting to the next thing in life, a lot of times. So now I've been able to really have this calm and this stillness. I've been showing gratitude in a lot of different ways too. Like, I know I talked about the cards I wrote, but journaling a lot more, making sure every day I wake up with 3 things that I'm grateful for, and then I go to bed every day thinking about 3 things that I'm really grateful for that happened to me in that day. Because in a time of some chaos, or when anxiety is really high, all you tend to do is just look at the challenges in front of you, right, or what didn't go right in that day, versus really like digging deep. And then the other thing for me that's really helped with stillness is I've really gone back to making a very conscious effort to put time aside to pray every day. It's really just gotten me in a place of peace and of being able to really breathe, because in those moments it's like everything else fades away, and nothing else quite does that for me, like praying does, but whatever it is for somebody, just find some people call it meditation,
some people call it meditation,
just laying there, whatever it is for you. I hope that everyone can try to find something that is the tool that will help them
get out of
anxiety.
I know I told you I have one other tip. I have an amazing tribe of friends. You better believe I get them on the phone. And so a lot of times I have friends that love up on me, share some positive thoughts about me or their day with me that kind of distracts me for a while. But I also have friends that are very what I call tough love friends. And sometimes they tell me that it's put your big girl panty on kind of a day and just get to it, and move past what it is. They acknowledge that emotion, they acknowledge that anxiety. They say that, there's more for you to do in the day. Go out and accomplish it. Go out and feel like you have, really checked certain things off your list. And that's really the opposite of anxiety too. I'm going to tell you right now, because then when you're thinking about what you're grateful for and all that you've accomplished and what you've overcome, that is just the natural way, I think, to get rid of a lot of that anxiety and that feeling of self-doubt in those moments.
Definitely. Wow. And that you just mentioned so many different tools that people can use to get out of feeling anxiety. And especially as, I like these are the words of Brene Brown, and she describes it to be a lifestyle of anxiety. And what I really love about that way of framing it is that it's kind of what it is. Something happens and we freak out. We get really anxious. When really we need to be anxious? Is the anxiety helping us? That's the question I always ask. Is this helping you? And it's really become a way of life. And you mentioned two things that really caught my ear. Connecting to other people, calling your friends, and also using prayer in time of anxiety. So I want to ask you, we'll go through each of them, but separately, starting with prayer. How has prayer helped you to relieve your anxiety and get to a place of calm?
So for me, it's just really grounded. I feel like physically and mentally, I feel grounded. Like I feel connected to something, and still in the very literal sense. Like I don't move, right? I don't. I'm not antsy. I'm not thinking about the next thing. I'm not in the kitchen thinking about the laundry I have to change or something like that. I'm not sending an email, but thinking about something I want to add to my to-do list when I'm done with it, or abandoning one thing. I think we're such a society of multitasking and feeling like that's a good thing. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it's a necessity. But I also think that there's times when we need to just slow down. And for me, that's what prayer reminds me to do. is just be very present in that exact moment. I will tell you, and this will lead into, I think, the second part in terms of connecting with people is, I have who I think is the cutest 2.5-year-old goddaughter, but in California, and so we do a lot of FaceTime anyway, and she's so cute, so funny, and especially this age, right? Every day they're learning something new, I feel like. So like just the other day, we were on FaceTime and we talked for like a minute, and then she was gone, and I'm like, wait, this isn't normally what happens. Where did she go? She went to her room to get a book, and we literally read the book together. We took the time and we were reading the book together, and as soon as we were done, she's off the bed again, and I'm like, wait, like I'm not done talking to you. And 2 minutes later, here she comes with another book. We must have gone through 8 books, but it was the most joyful thing to me. But I was present in that moment. You better believe. I mean, the iPad was on because that's how we were talking, but I wasn't looking at the phone. I wasn't thinking about my email. I wasn't thinking about the pile of dishes in the sink or anything else that I had to do that day. And so I think what it reminds me to do, prayer does, is sometimes we have to be very present in what's exactly right in front of us. And that goes back to some of the other points we've already talked about. That shows someone gratitude, right? When you're fully engaged in a conversation with them, or when you're taking time out of your day to sit down and write them a handwritten note,
for them, if you want to bake something for your neighbors and show them that you appreciate them, that they're always looking out for you.
They're always looking out for you.
You know, you're watching each other's homes and things like that, and just checking in on each other. There's ways to show gratitude through that stillness and through being very present in certain tasks and in certain moments. So that's to me what prayer has reminded me of on a bigger picture, other than to be like very connected with what I'm saying in those moments and what I'm showing gratitude for, what I'm also just wishing for my life, for the people that I love.
Definitely. And I think that's so beautiful, because when a person will turn to prayer, so prayer, you have to be in the present. We're praying for the things that we want in the present, the things that we need in the present. And it's such a beautiful way to kind of stop, slow down, and just kind of take in where you are and think about what do you want to pray for right now. And it also brings up another interesting topic of who are we praying to? And I want to talk about briefly that there's a big difference between religion and spirituality. A person can be spiritual, however not religious. And spirituality, I think, is a very important thing, especially in this time, because what we're seeing is we're seeing a virus that went around the world, and I don't want to say this if it will trigger people, but the reality is that it has been killing people, and that's a very scary thing, and we need to protect those people, and we're trying our best as people to do that. We have people trying to come up with a vaccine, people trying to find a cure for this, and so far we have a few things that we're trying. We don't know if we have found exactly what we need yet. And when something is this powerful that as people we're trying to find something to kill the virus going around, really that means that there's an element of this that is more powerful than us. Doesn't mean that we don't have ability, doesn't mean that we're not smart. However, there is a spiritual element here. For some people, they see it as God. Some people have a general higher power. Some people believe in the universe, the law of attraction, that what I put into the universe will give back to me. And I think that that's something super important to think about in this time. Where are you in terms of seeing what you're powerless over and what you're not powerless over? And to see where am I at spiritually in all of this? And like I said, religion is a separate topic from spirituality, and seeing that there are things we're not in control of, utilizing something like prayer, sending a prayer out into the universe. It's like, I actually have a friend who would go out to her balcony and just kind of scream, and that can be a form of prayer. Just kind of asking the world, like, we need help. We need something to heal us. Whatever it is, if you're giving out to the universe, to your higher power, maybe you call your higher power God. It is something that is so powerful, because what you're doing is actually, as we spoke about earlier in this interview, was releasing powerlessness. and it's something that is so powerful. We are powerful when we know what we're powerless over, which sounds so counteractive, because when we see ourselves as powerless over something, a lot of people think that means I don't have power, but really what it is, it's acknowledging the reality of the world, and that there are things in this world that we do not have power over. And that's okay, because if we think we have power over it, we feel anxious, and then that's where we get into that lifestyle of anxiety. So that's why I really love, Lisa, that you brought up prayer, and you spoke about prayer, because it's so important in this time to be able to keep us in the present, and to know that we're not alone, and there is something greater than us that really can show up for us and be there for us. So thank you so much for bringing up prayer.
Well, and we've heard of these people that have been singing off their balconies. So for anyone that maybe doesn't use the word prayer a lot, or that's not a comfortable word for them, think about like what you just mentioned, is putting a message out into the universe, right? And a lot of people do that through song and do that through music. And so I think it's really important too, what you just said is, we can feel powerless, or that this is bigger than any of us. But I think we're actually collectively as a community, and when we have come together with connection, we're bigger than it, whatever the it is, the virus at this time, because we know that we're all in it together. That's the other thing too, is in this time right now, there isn't one person that isn't impacted or doesn't know someone that's being directly affected by it, that doesn't have a family member living in a community that's maybe even on more lockdown than we are, things like that. So I think that there's some strength in knowing that we're all going through this together. It's not just happening to one person or one part of the world. This is really something that's bringing us all together, and now we can see the power of humanity really come together, and we're kind of rowing the boat in the same direction for humanity and for kindness and for goodness and all these things. And when I look at it that way, when I think about it truly at that core of a concept, then I don't feel alone anymore. You can use the word distancing and isolation and all those things, but I feel actually very opposite of all of that right now. And so that gives me hope too. And that really shows me, you know, just the kindness that exists in the world, and what is possible when we all have a common vision and something that we can all collectively get behind. So I think that's an excellent point and thought. And this is what you do so well, is you really help people identify those things in their life, no matter what stage they're in. I mean, this is something that's super global and it's consuming the news right now, but on a very cellular level, on a very one-to-one, you know, you do this so well for individuals, and just really show them what's possible, and that limits don't exist, and how we can overcome some of our challenging and thinking, to see the beauty and what possibilities are out there. So that's why I love talking to you, and I think that's why conversations like this are so important, and I'm excited to share them with other people.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa. And I love that you just connected it with connecting, and that this is really a time of connection. And I really believe the core of our existence is connection, that we are here to connect. We're hardwired for connection. And what's amazing about that is that connection is another tool you were talking about that you use to release anxiety. That you have a network of friends that you better bet your bottom dollar they're going to show up for you. And it's amazing. And so what I want to ask you is, what do you think it is about reaching out to a friend, which, by the way, is super important when you're feeling anxious? That's a tool to use. People want to know, how do I get out of anxiety? That is one of the tools that people use. And if that's something that you don't remember to do, or maybe it's hard because it's intimate, you don't want to share something personal, or you're scared because the other person may not understand you, those are all good to notice about yourself, and to realize, and then ask yourself what you want to make of it. Do I need to be more gentle to myself? What do you need to give yourself to be able to have the strength to reach out to another person when you're feeling anxious? Because it's through reaching out to people and experiencing connection, which is also building intimacy if we're expressing something vulnerable. And that's another level of feeling connection that's just amazing and so crucial to our well-being. And yeah, it's just crucial to our well-being to experience intimacy in our relationships and connection. So with that said, Lisa, I wanted to ask you, what do you think it is exactly about connecting with somebody else that releases that helps you to experience a release of the anxiety?
I think a lot of times anxiety comes from, at least for me, it comes from frustration or feelings of loneliness or feelings of wanting control over something that I feel like I don't have. And so when I reach out, and again, I don't call everyone in my phone book. I have some key people that I know that I can really trust and I've built solid relationships with, and I have a comfort level there. But what I find is the minute that I say anything, really to anybody, so too, is someone says, oh my gosh, I've been there, or I have a story for you about that, or I know exactly what you mean. And that to me instantly starts to eliminate the anxiety because you realize you're not alone. Right. And so I think that's where anxiety hits its peak is when you're like, why is this happening to me? No one's going to understand. What are they going to think of me? How does it reflect poorly on me? Like now you start to have all these negative words, which is why we said, you need to try to eliminate those as much as possible. Thoughts and words in your own head. You need to practice self-care and self-love along the way. These all really tie into one another. I don't think that there's any one of them that's singular on their own that don't work better as a concept and as these thoughts. Like all of Gwen's list was really incredible, right? When you and I were talking about trying to figure out how to narrow it down, it was really difficult to do because they were just all that good and powerful. But I think like for me that's what it is the minute you start to talk to somebody, they can almost instantly relate to you. And even if they can't, this is what I'll ask people to remember. Even if they can't relate exactly to you, that might just be the inspiration that they needed to hear in that moment. Maybe they are looking to you as someone that always has it together, or always knows what they're doing, or super always happy. And when you start to show that you have layers too, and that there's things that you need help with, that you sometimes need to be uplifted in moments. That gives strength and that to other people. That gives power to other people too. And so you're actually giving a gift by showing your vulnerable side, or by showing a weakness. And again, you have to surround yourself with the right people so that it doesn't take on another meaning of its own. But here's what I will remind people though too, is if for some reason you're sharing with someone that doesn't support you in that way, that is not a reflection on you in that moment. That to me is a reflection on that individual in the moment, right? So you and I've had a great conversation about what rejection really is, and maybe you can share a little bit more about that. But rejection isn't necessarily a reflection of you and your talents and your emotions and who you are as a person. A lot of times it's just about timing or where that person is in their life, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Definitely. And I think during this corona craze of 2020, that one of the aspects of the anxiety that's coming up is I've heard people actually talking about the feeling of rejection, and that when they feel rejected, and even if it's not personal, they feel that it's a personal rejection of themselves. And the truth of the matter is being rejected just means that something wasn't in alignment. It doesn't mean you any less. It doesn't mean that whatever you were doing is just not in alignment. And there's nothing wrong with that. And chances are something better is along the way that's more in alignment. If we take the time to look at, we don't need to focus too much on what wasn't in alignment, but if we have the opportunity to identify what exactly wasn't in alignment, it could also be if someone, say, fired you from a job for a stupid reason, maybe they're not somebody that you really want to be working for, and you're about to go find another boss who is going to love you and appreciate you, and who knows if they'll micromanage you or not, but they're going to give you the space to truly be you and do you and to shine and to grow. Actually, now that I'm saying this, Lisa, tell me about the...
That's so good, by the way. It's so good. Let me just, I hope people really are hearing what you just said there. Because even I'm like, ooh, I got to go back and re-listen to that one because that's good stuff.
Thank you. I think there's a bit of a time lapse for the audio, but that's fine. But no, so what I was saying is that I want you to share with everybody what your job is like now, the things that you like about it, because what you were telling me is super, super awesome. The schedule that they have for you. I don't know if it's a schedule, but you know what I'm talking about. The things they want you to do to grow.
Yeah, so when I partner with the company that I currently am with, they told us that our success would be measured based on how much we helped other people succeed. That they wanted us to want others to succeed more than even ourselves. So if we could help them get to optimal health, if we could help them build an additional income, if we just offered them a solution to a problem they're having. And sometimes it's just that someone calls me and says, my toilet's leaking, I need a plumber, I know you have like great Rolodex of people who can send me to. If I start talking about my business or the movie I watched last night, I'm losing my credibility as a go-to resource for them. And that's truly just what I want to do. I want to be somebody that someone knows they can rely on and whatever it is that they need in that moment in their life, right? So if someone calls me, I'm going to give them the name of my plumber, or I'm going to find out somebody that I know. Hey, I don't have a source in that area or in that industry, but wait, I know someone that might be able to help you. So that's how it's measured. And so when I was introduced to that concept, my background is in event planning. My job is to make sure the event and the people putting it on look like the ducks on the surface of the water while we're frantically paddling underneath, right? And making it all happen. I'm used to being behind the scenes. Like I like being there and helping other people or other environments and situations shine. So this to me was a perfect fit. They also ask us to read 20 minutes a day of something that's helpful or positive. They ask us to listen to 20 minutes of an audio every day. And I just thought, could you imagine if everyone took on this concept, maybe how much more peace, how much happier, how much more positivity we could put out to one another and share ideas. And I'll tell you, within our organization, that's what we're doing all day, every day. We're texting each other, we're calling each other, we're putting items on Facebook that are only there to help, to educate, to share information, to uplift people. And so I feel super lucky, super blessed. There's like a million words I can use for it that I think this is what I stumbled on. But I'm going to tell you, it was through other opportunities in those moments weren't always in alignment with every part of me. But I will always say that every position I was in, I was meant to be there because of the people that I met. I look back now and I have no doubt in my mind that was the path that I was put on. Because I'll have some bad days at work, right, at my JOB. And I'm like, why am I here? How did I get here? Why is this happening to me? And then inevitably, I think back to the people that I was introduced in those environments to, and I think that's the reason. That's all it's about. And so that's the one lesson I've carried with me always. And again, have I kept in touch with every single one of them? No. The people I was meant to meet, though, are people that I'm still in touch with, that I still have in my life. And even if I don't get to talk to them as often as I want, they're the ones that I can reach out to and be like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. You were on my mind. And instantly, like, the reaction is a positive one, right? Like, it's great to hear from you. I'm so glad. Versus, like, you haven't called me in 3 years. Like, so that's what I talk about, like, a lot in terms of the tribe. You know, it's really developing strong relationships. And if I can help someone, whatever it is that they need, I've had a good day. I'm really happy about the day. I feel really proud and accomplished. And then I can just kind of, I know that I'm on the right path, and I just keep doing more of it. It's exciting. It's kind of addicting. But momentum goes in both ways, right? If you have bad momentum, it doesn't seem like a lot of bad things are happening to you. When you have good momentum, you're like, this is awesome. Let's keep doing more of this. I want more positive people in my life. I want more good opportunities to come my way. I don't ever say the word problem. I like opportunity even better. What opportunity is going to come my way today that I can
I can pass along to someone.
I can pass along to
I can
someone.
share to make
I can
someone's
share
life a
to
little
make
bit
someone's
easier,
life a little
or a
bit
little bit more
easier, or a
joyful.
little bit more
Like there's
joyful. Like there's
opportunities
opportunities
around us every
around
single
us
day,
every
all
single
day
day,
long.
all day long.
You just gotta be
You
willing
just gotta be
to
willing
receive them.
to
And if
receive
you
them.
are,
And if you are,
for me anyway,
for
like
me
it has
anyway,
been
like
the thing
it
that
has
has
been
changed
the
my
thing
life.
that has changed my life.
It's just that
It's
simple
just
mind
that simple
shift.
mind shift.
And now there's I have no limit to my day, and I love it. I get up before the alarm, and I am not a morning person.
Not a morning
And
person.
I'm waking up every day. I'm hitting that ground ready to run. And the earth is saying, "Gosh, she's awake! Like here she comes."
Here she comes.
That's absolutely amazing. I love it. And you know what's actually super, super interesting? If people have been watching the last, like, I guess 5 minutes of this interview, what's amazing is you just went through, first we're talking about anxiety, then we're talking about calm, and after calm, what actually we didn't talk about, but I know this because this is what I do and I help my clients move from surviving to living, is that then you get a sense of liveliness afterwards. So when a person's feeling anxiety, oftentimes they try to take the intensity that comes with the anxiety and add more intensity to the intensity that's already there so that they can feel they're thriving. But the truth is then they get burnt out eventually. And maybe it works a bit. Maybe they get on, this like, I'm going to succeed. I'm going to do this. However, the true way to get to that flow in life and also living in alignment and flow together, we first have to go through a period of calmness and stillness. And then after experiencing that calmness, slowly we're going to feel the life coming back into us. And it's only really from a place of calm that we're able to feel that experience of living. And it can't go to thriving. I don't think we are thriving at every second of our lives. We don't feel that I'm thriving 24/7. However, calm can be a lifestyle. And when we have a calm lifestyle instead of an anxiety lifestyle, it's then that we're able to kind of go back and forth of that living and excitement and then calm and stillness. And that's what you actually just went through as you were describing it, which is so cool. You're talking about calm, you moved to exciting and doing and what I really call living. So it was really cool that we got to see that. So thank you so much for sharing all of that.
And I have found that for me too, another way that I'm getting over anxiety is I'm thinking about if my self-doubts and fears, they're my own. And if I start to put them out there, that's what my reality is. But I have tools, I have platforms and systems that can help other people, and that should be, and it is, bigger than my own fears, my own personal negative words. And so for me, I just thought, if I can overcome that, and if I can focus on helping other people, then I'm already where I want to be. So that's why, too, it's super important to have dreams and have visions of what you want your life to look like and what the reality really should be. But then you need to have a plan in place, right? Because the plans that will lead to the actions that will actually take you to your dreams. Otherwise, they're just going to be dreams in your head. And so for me, that was really like the arc that I took, and that's really helped me overcome anxiety, is to say, it's not about me, it's about what I can offer. I really believe that every single one of us has a gift to give. But we have to be willing to share it, right? We have to want to put it out there, because otherwise, how are people going to know who we are and what we do?
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes there's a stigma around it to say, don't talk about yourself, don't it's too self-promoting, or it's like you're bolstering yourself, and that's not really acceptable. But I think if you do it from a really authentic, pure way about putting other people first, then I say do it, because how else am I going to know what you do and what you have to offer if you don't share that with me? So that's been my kind of epiphany of how to overcome, is to lead from a place of putting other people first. And then I'm excited to see what comes of it, and it instantly eliminates any self-doubt.
Definitely. That's absolutely amazing. And now that we've also started to talk a little bit about work, and earlier you were saying how your job, or it's not really a job, it's your career, I would say at this point. You're an entrepreneur, and and the people that you've partnered with, they encourage you, and it's a two-way street. You encourage them as well to be reading and to be learning and to really be developing yourself. And that developing yourself is essential to the work that you're doing, even though it's not obviously connected. It's connected because that's how we grow and thrive as people. So I want to actually segment into the next topic that I'm going to read out now to everybody, which is number 9. Well, 9 on my list, but not 9 in here. So this is, let's see, number 9. This is the 5th topic of what we can cultivate that I'm bringing up here. And it is cultivating meaningful work. To do that, we have to let go of self-doubt and telling ourselves, I'm supposed to do this. So I think this is awesome, and you're the perfect person to speak about this, because for you, you've actually had a real journey with your career life, and also choosing to be an entrepreneur and choosing meaningful work. Let's start at the beginning with the self-doubt and the supposed to. Would you be able to describe to us how the line, I'm supposed to do this, or having self-doubt, they're two different things. So maybe I'm going to separate the question so it's more directed. Let's start with supposed to. What did I'm supposed to do X, Y, and Z guide you towards careers that were less meaningful to you?
For me, it was supposed to, I have to show up, I have to earn an income. Like, it was very linear in terms of saying, like, these are the steps you're supposed to take. But I wasn't always connected to the work. I always found a way to connect to the people, and that's what kept me going, you know, and really kept me engaged in what I was doing. It's also what made me work when the 8 hours was up, right? So a lot of times supposed to meant keeping clients happy, even if it means working 10 or 12 or 15 hours a day. I was doing that to keep my job. I wasn't doing it because that's authentically what I wanted to do. I had built relationships, so I did also want to come through for those individuals. I didn't want to leave them hanging or with a bad
outcome or anything like that.
So again, it went back to people power, right? Like I really, it was because I had some kind of relationship. But just if you looked at it on paper,
it just didn't have as much meaning.
You know, it just didn't have as much meaning as when you
so I think the supposed to a lot of times
is, I think the supposed to a lot of times is,
I'm supposed to show up at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm supposed to show up at 8 o'clock. I'm
supposed to leave at this
time.
I'm supposed to leave at this time. That doesn't account for human nature at all. That doesn't account for emotion.
That doesn't account for emotion
or technology that maybe broke down that day.
Technology that maybe broke down that day. And now you have to stay longer. So if I only lived on supposed to, I also think it'd be very robotic. It would be very boring. It would be very
non-emotional, and that's not who I am. If you ask any of my friends or family, I'm a very emotional person. I dive in like from the 10-foot high board, and I'll go for it. And that's how I would much rather be when I think of the alternative. Right? So for me, it was just always saying, okay, there's something more for me. There's a place I'm naturally supposed to be. I just have to keep looking for it. I just have to keep working towards it. And when I do think back, though, all of those experiences led me to the opportunities that I have today. I don't know that I would have been as comfortable doing what I'm doing, or as capable of doing what I'm doing. Certainly don't think I would have gotten like on a live.
Certainly don't think I would have gotten like on a live
even a recorded
at all, let alone like even a recorded. That's going to be out there. And so I have to for sure get rid of
that a little bit of the other part you mentioned of that self-doubt mentality. And I have to be proud of myself for what I
and I have to be proud of myself for what I can offer right now. Knowing that I'm always trying to learn. I'm always trying to
right now
be better.
Not that good right now
I
just want to be the
I just want to be
myself.
And so
how can I get there?
And so how can I
surround myself with?
What books can I read? What books can I read?
Who can I learn from?
Who can I learn from?
So that's kind of the driving force for me all the time in terms of finding meaningful work. But I think people are always have
have to be a big part of
I don't know.
it.
Maybe someone else would disagree, but I think
Maybe someone else would disagree, but I think people are really, I call it,
Yeah, definitely. I think what you're talking about is connection, connecting with the people that you're working with. And I think it's super important, connection in all areas of our life. If we're working with people that we don't feel connection with, it's definitely a lot harder to work in an environment like that. And than it is to be with people that we connect with. It's a lot more fun to be with people that we connect with. It makes the days go by so much faster. And again, it's what we're here for. And we're hardwired for connection. So I love everything that you were just saying about like the line I'm supposed to, and how that, you know, it has guided you in the past. And now you're in a different place. You're taking a super courageous step forward. And like also you talking about being on live and also being an entrepreneur now. Oh, hi Ronnie. Ronnie just said hi. Oh, hi Ronnie. It's super, super amazing of you. And what you're truly choosing to do is to cultivate meaningful work. So I want to ask you about how you release the I'm supposed to thought, or release self-doubt to allow you to cultivate meaningful work as you are today.
So the real answer is, and I hopefully everyone can tell that I've been as transparent as I possibly can be, but the real answer is I think about the people that are my mentors and the people that I look up to, and I have this vision in my head that one day I'm going to get a chance to meet them if I haven't already. And this is so not true. It's truly just like this vision in my head, but they're going to come up to me and they're going to be like, I know who you are, and I'm going to get like all excited, right? And they're going to say, you are the person that had an opportunity to do X, Y, and Z, and you turned it down. And I don't want to be known for that. I want to be known as the girl that, okay, I might have failed, and listen, I like to fail forward as much as possible, because failing is going to teach me how to do it the right way, or how to do it better the next time. So I've also overcome the fear of failure, which I know we haven't talked much about today, but I think that's super key too. It used to really hold me back. What are people going to think of me, and what if I don't succeed, and what if I make a mistake? I don't care as much anymore about it, right? I care if they think I'm a good person and I tried, but I don't care if I fail. So I want people to be like, she's the girl that tried. And I can't tell you how many times I've done things. When I owned my event planning company, solely on my own, we were asked to bid out on a contract. And of course on the phone, they're like, yeah, of course I can do that. I'm happy to do it. Thank you for the opportunity. And we hung up the phone, and my business partner at the time and I looked at each other and we're like, we don't know how to do that. Like, what are we going to do? But we learned it and we figured it out. So I like to take chances like that. And I want someone to always say, okay, she's the girl that was given an opportunity. And she said yes first and then figured out how to do it if she didn't already know. And there are good people out there, and there's so many good resources. And there's so many good resources. Help you if you just ask, right? And again, the people that don't, that's not my tribe. And I used to be afraid of that too, and now I'm like, thank you for saying no so quickly, thank you for saying no so quickly, or for
now I can move past it even faster. Right now I can get to the yeses a lot quicker. So we even have an exercise in our organization, in our company, and we're like, okay, how many no's can we get? Who's the first to get to 10? Like, because if you start to make that the goal, and you make it fun, and you don't make it this taboo negative thing, it's amazing how that'll shift your mind. Instantly. And so, yeah, so for me, that's what works. I kind of, sometimes I have to play a game with myself, or I have to have these grand visions of things. But it's what's helped propel me forward.
But it's what's helped propel me forward.
And I have that I use.
And so it's a tool that I have that I use, and it works for me. It may not work for everybody else, but it's gotten me pretty far, and so I'm going to stick with it.
That's absolutely amazing. And it's the purity in your face. You have such a smile. And I couldn't describe this enough. No writer could describe this well enough. The smile that Lisa has on her face right now is how you feel when you take those courageous steps forward and you allow yourself to grow and to truly meaningful work. And I know now it's a hard time with the 20 that we're not necessarily finding the work in this time. However, if someone does have an entrepreneurial spirit and may want to kind of dabble with something online or see if maybe they can sell something on Amazon or make a website in that way, you know, it's super meaningful. And it's just, it can put that same smile on your face. And the smile just captures it. There's no words for it. So thank you for being an amazing example.
Lisa. Thank you.
The next one we're going to go to is about cultivating laughter, song, and dance. And the way we do this is by letting go, releasing and letting go is the same thing. Being cool and always in control. So we're not always in control. And Lisa definitely knows about this. She's been through a lot of things in life, but she has had to realize that she's not in control and find a new way to navigate her life that she doesn't just feel out of control. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what it looked like to always be in control in the past?
Well, can I just say too, can I jump to the being cool part? I mean, even still today, I don't feel like I'm cool. Like I just, right? I'm kind of, I'm super geeky. Like I'm the kind of person that thinks cleaning is fun, like reorganizing my kitchen cabinets. I mean, you know, there's things that I do. I'm not the best dancer. I love it though. So I have really learned that you have to be able to laugh and laugh at yourself. Like if you can lead by that, then you make it okay for others to do it too. As long as they're not laughing at you, but they're laughing with you. That statement really rings true to me. Now that I've like not been so intense, and I don't always think it was definitely like needing to be in control, but I realized like I was just super intense about things. I didn't have a lot of fun with what I was doing, and who knows why? Is it the people that I was with? Was it a lot about me? Was it self-doubt? Was it all these topics we've already talked about today? I'm going to say it was probably a combination of things, and it's just one of those topics you say, what would you have told your 25-year-old self, right? What kind of lessons have you learned? And I think for me, that is probably one of the biggest ones, is just have a little bit more fun with things, right? Don't be so worried about what other people think. Don't worry so much about having to control the narrative. Because here's the reality of it. When we try so hard, we usually do a worse job of it than if we just let something happen, the natural progression that they were supposed to take. And also, sometimes we lose sight of what it is we're actually trying to do because we're so focused on like following rule A through Z and not seeing that sometimes there's beauty in experimenting with things or brainstorming on ideas with people or getting new people involved. And so, you know, that old cliche thing, but really thinking outside the box and engaging other people, but that makes them feel good too. That makes them feel valued. So control sometimes is also a very lonely place. And if we just get other people involved, it makes us feel better, but it makes them feel valued. And there's a lot that can be said about that. So that's why too, I think like letting go of control over the things, some things you just can't control. It's a good thing to do. Now I'm not saying, you know, don't care about anything and, you know, don't take a shower for a month or things like that. Like there are things you can control and you still should. But I think that it's good too to see other people's point of view and to get their impression on things and but again, they have to be the right people for you, right? Sometimes too, it's about not listening to all of the voices. Sometimes just listening to your gut and going for
there's
it. There's a lot that I think that's wrapped up into not always being in control.
But I think if you're in a safe environment with people that you know you can rely on, I think that's the best time just to kind of just to go for it. You know, I told you I like to make cakes and stuff. I've made a lot of not so good ones. That there's beauty in those too. That's like a good lesson to learn, right?
And people still ate them. People still love them. And I've learned that a lot in event planning too.
Don't ever tell anybody what went wrong at the event. Because the participants will just see what they see. You only know it because it's what was planned and maybe didn't get executed to 100% of what the plan was. If you don't tell people that it was supposed to be chicken and not fish, or it was supposed to start at 8 o'clock, not 9 o'clock, you
people don't know that. Don't bring attention to
roll
it.
with it.
Just roll with it.
I just saw a T-shirt today that said, I rolled with it. It was like a toilet paper graphic, and then it said like, virus of 2020. Anyway, sorry, I digress. That's what made me think of.
You sometimes just have to go with it, and that's when like
happens, right?
I mean, that's when they said like, that's when they said like,
how many times did it take them to figure out the light bulb and stuff like that? Because could you imagine if they'd been in such control and really like weren't willing to try new things along the way, or decided to give up way before the time had come. There's a lot of ways that our reality today, our world would look a lot different. Visionaries and innovators didn't just kind of go with it. And how do you know you're not that person? How do you know you're not that person? You don't keep trying. You don't keep trying.
Definitely. Right. Yeah, it's exactly it. That, and also when we're staying in that place of control, it's hard for us to keep trying because we have an idea of what's perfect, and we're continually trying to reach perfection, and it blocks off the creativity, and we're not able to really just keep going in a way that's going to allow ourselves to grow. There's two types of circles. There's a circle that stays like on the same level, and or it can spiral upwards. And we want to be spiraling upwards, not staying in the same place. Keep us. If we think that we can control that, control is going to control us, and it's going to keep us exactly where we are. And then eventually, if we're not moving forward, we're going to eventually start moving backwards. That's what happens naturally. We don't stay stagnant for too long. And it's amazing when we're able to really move forward. And the smile that I was pointing out on Lisa's face from before was so natural and genuine. Forward, and we can feel proud of ourselves and feel that we've accomplished. And we let go of whatever we're trying to control and just be and experience and see who we are and be true to ourselves. Live in flow, live in alignment. Whether that means, staying at home and just kind of doing something fun during the time that we're in right now, or it could be after this is all finished. It will finish, by the way. This is going to have an end. I feel like a lot of the fears are, like, oh my gosh, we're stuck in this. But I don't know how long it will be. Nobody knows. But this isn't going to be forever. And you're able to move forward with your life and feel good about yourself. Feel good because you let go of that control and you're able to be genuine with yourself and live in alignment. You let go of that control and you're able to be genuine with yourself and live in alignment and to laugh. Oh my gosh, laughing. Let's talk about laughing for a second. Oh my gosh, laughing is an amazing medicine. So is dancing, so is singing. Everybody has different things, that are it for them. So is dancing, so is singing. Everybody has different things, it's actually clinically been proven that it releases endorphins, I'm pretty sure. And it makes, or dopamine. It could be, I think it might be dopamine, but it's one of those. They're all part of the hormones that make us feel good. It's one of those. They're all part of the hormones that make us feel good. It's so important to give ourselves the freedom to laugh. It's so important. So that's what's absolutely amazing about this. And now that's what's absolutely amazing about this. I want to know from you, when you have chosen to let go, release of control, how has that led you to have more laughter and song and dance in your life?
So I think laughter's a great example, like you're saying. I'm not the biggest laugh out loud person. I mean, I think things are funny, but I don't. But have you ever been around people? Laughter's contagious, right? Or I've watched shows before that I don't think are funny when I watch them alone, and then I watch with someone. I'm probably gonna offend a lot of people by saying this. I don't always find the humor in The Office, that TV show, but I know a lot of people that love it, and when I've watched with them, I find it funnier because they're laughing, and so then maybe I see it through their eyes, or I see it differently, or it's just the energy in the room that has shifted. I'm not quite sure what it is, right? And so then it opens me up to look at things again. That's what I think laughter and happiness does, and I think it also leads itself to more learning too, right? Because now we're not so narrow vision. We actually are very open-minded when we're using those feel-good hormones that you were talking about and those feel-good emotions. We actually are allowing ourselves to be able of receiving more than when we're closed off. And so that kind of leads back to the learning too, because I've always looked at learning as like, you start at the beginning, and then you de-plateau a little bit, and then to go up to the next level, there should be an amount of pain. There should be an amount of angst and right, because you shouldn't know what you're doing. So if you are in some kind of pain for that reason, that's a good thing. That means that you're growing, right? And I know that's what you help people with, and you can probably speak to that more. But that's why I think it's super fun to always be learning and to always be laughing, because that puts us in a prime state of mind to say that, anything is possible.
Yeah, definitely. It's so true. And to be living in the feeling of anything is possible is so powerful. And it's 100% connected with song and dance and laughter. And that's again, we're talking about flow and alignment. That when we're able to be in flow with ourselves by releasing, letting go of control, of being like cool and calm, collected, I got this together. We're able to just be in alignment, be ourselves, and to just expand ourselves and to really be able to be in the present. That's another big gift. Being in the present is a huge gift. And it's all these things coming together that we're able to cultivate laughter, song, dance, and everything that you were just talking about. So thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing all of your thoughts from this time in the, what we keep quoting as social isolation. It's like hard for me to pronounce. Is that hard for you also?
Hard for me to pronounce. Is it hard for you also?
I just don't want to say it.
That could be. But it's physical distancing. You see, that rolls off the tip of my tongue. But in this time of physical distancing, so that we don't get each other sick, and we slow down the spread of the virus, thought that you've had in your home, I really appreciated both on and off camera. And it's been such a pleasure. Are there any thoughts that you wanted to say before we begin to close this up?
I just would encourage people to take a chance to do something new that you haven't done before. I know we kind of talked about it, but that's how you and I met. And I just feel so excited and so lucky to have had this new connection. So in a time when, again, people are telling us to keep our distance, I think let's be rebels. Let's go and do it in a safe way. I'm not telling everyone to go out, because there's like even in Michigan, there's not too many places to go. But let's think outside the box. Let's think about how we can completely turn this on its head and say, no, this isn't going to be the time that we remember that we were lonely and sad and frightened and upset all the time. Let's take this as the time where we really set up a foundation for our future success. And then as soon as they told us we could go back out there, we're just going to flood it with possibility and opportunity and positivity. And we're gonna live in a way that we never thought before was possible. So I just say, be kind of rebellious and go do something for yourself, go do something fun, because there are a lot of really great opportunities. And I know that for anybody that does feel a little bit isolated still, or says, okay, we've heard you both talk about finding your tribes and doing all these things. If you don't know how, just comment below. I know you have 2 new friends, right? And the 2 of us. But I know it's totally what Connie does and does it so well, just to really help people. Just reach out to her or say hi to me. We're excited to connect with more people. I don't want to speak for you, but I know that we talked about it. So I think it's
Definitely.
fair enough to say, right? Yeah, it's okay to disrupt the space a little bit. So let's go and do it together. Let's have some fun. Why not? Let's do like virtual happy dances and see where we come out.
Definitely. I love it. Yeah, I actually yesterday with one of my closest friends, we did Smool. Smool is an app where you can record singing, and they have the music and the lyrics, and you just sing it karaoke style, and then someone else can record the second part. It's super cool. And it was a really fun way to connect, which we actually never would have done in person. So that was really awesome. So yeah, I love everything that you're talking about.
Netflix has on Chrome. If you have a Netflix account and you have Chrome, you can actually watch movies together. So as long as one of you has the Netflix account, you can then invite your friends in and you can do virtual movie night. So maybe this is just, a way for all of us. I'm learning Zoom. I'm learning things that I've never learned before. So it doesn't all have to be technology based, but yeah, I'd say take advantage of all these amazing things. Free museum tours, right? Virtual museum tours. There's nothing like being somewhere in person, whether it's with other people or other experiences. So when we get a chance to go back to that, I want people to definitely take advantage of whatever they can. But for now, there's so many learning opportunities online. There's so many tours you can do. Places you can see that maybe you wouldn't have been able to. So tap into all of that. Take advantage of the opportunities that are our new normal and our current reality. And remember that you, because I struggled with this too a little bit, am I taking too much advantage of it? Am I capitalizing on any of it? And I just think, no, I deserve it. And so I think, anyone watching this, I hope they know that they deserve it.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it, Lisa. Thank you so much for sharing your heart, your soul, and your thoughts with us today. So I wanted to let everybody know and to remind them all that during this time, since many people are not employed, unfortunately, anymore, or maybe have shorter hours for their schedule and are in panic, a practical option for now is you can learn about residual income. Residual income can come through the internet. You can leverage social media or Etsy or eBay or Amazon. There's many places online, and I'm sure Lisa knows a lot more about this than I do. However, there's many opportunities now to create residual income online. For those of you who don't know what it is, residual income is when you set something up and it's in place, and you're able to continue earning money from it without really having to consistently put yourself into it on the regular. Now, this is exactly what Lisa helps people to do. So Lisa right now, she is on a mission to help people find their gifts and then to develop a plan B financially. And especially in this specific time that we're all at home, spending more time at home. But the way she does this is by educating people about residual income, as well as giving resources and information on residual income so you can create it for yourself. She does this on 15-minute phone calls with people. And I'm going to ask her now to just tell us a little bit more about this. So for any of you who are interested in taking advantage of this opportunity, you know where to find her and exactly what she has to offer you.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you again for having me. This was a ton of fun. And I think that we've hit a couple other topics that we've been talking about offline. So hopefully we can do this again.
Definitely.
One day too. But no, I really do. I just come up from a place of wanting to offer people information, in saying that either they're in a path and they just want to advance themselves, they know they're doing exactly what they're meant to do, or to say, okay, this is the time when I'm being given an extra breath to take. And so I do want to really move down the path that I know that is my gift and is my calling to do. And so, yeah, I do. I just do that with a little bit of time on the phone to see where the fit is and how I can help. But there's just even sources out there to save money on the things that you're spending. I work with a platform that's completely free. And when I say that, I mean it. There's no obligation. There's no, you don't enter a credit card or anything like that. But there's opportunities out there for people to be really determining and having a say in how their money is spent. And so if I can even just offer that information to people, I'm happy to do it. But why not? Why shouldn't you make your money work for you as hard as you work for it? And so anyone that's interested in learning more about that, I really highly suggest, and you can talk to me, but even if you don't, just go out there and do some research and just look more into it.
Definitely. And it's such an amazing thing that you do and that you're so willing to give this over to people. And I think that people are truly out for a gift if they turn to you and want to work with you, because you have, we've spoken on and off camera, and I see that you have so much to offer, and it's not just information, it's also your heart. So it's extremely, extremely valuable. So once again, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here today. And I'm going to start talking about what I do as well. So what I do is I am a personal development coach. I help people move from surviving to living through building relationships, strengthening relationships, and also changing behavioral patterns that cause us stress, to behavioral patterns that give us fulfillment. And one of the things that I'm doing now is I've been interviewing people and talking to people about their experiences on and off camera as well. And what I want to learn about is, what is it that is the biggest challenge for people in this time? So if you can comment below and tell me what your greatest challenges are, I want to be writing videos and interviewing people that are going through the same things that you are, and to really help people in this time. I also do work one-on-one with people, so if you're interested in that, feel free to send me a message or DM me, and I would love to be able to hear from you and work with you. Any questions that you may have on any of the topics, any kind of feedback, feel free to message me. I love hearing from people, even if it's just to say, hi, it was interesting. Hi, I had this question. There's no such thing as a stupid question, and I really, truly look forward to hearing from all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay safe and be well.